Okay, great. My name is Larry James. My company is Speak with Larry, no spaces. And what I want to share today, I don't see the live. There you go. What I want to share with you guys today is the process that I'm creating for uh, 10 months from now until, well, we're starting March the 1st until December 31st of this year. Now I again have a company called Speak with Larry, and what I do is I teach people how to set up the foundation of their own online business while assisting them with becoming more comfortable speaking about it. But I'm interested in learning the stock market. So the way my mind works and the way I do things is that whatever I decide to put my money into, I take time to put my mind into. So what I want to do for the next 10 months, again, starting March the 1st, is create content about the stock market and share that content, you know, online, just like you see a lot of people doing right now. People that you have never known before are all of a sudden getting into the stock market game because that's actually where the money is. And you do want to be where the money is, right? I do too. But the way I want to do it is, first of all, any arena that you decide to delve into or go into is going to require that you understand the language. There's a language that's involved. And I'm going to start out by sharing definitions and terms that are involved with the stock market, things like index fund, ETFs, options, those type of things. I'm going to give the definition of those in the beginning so that you can always go back to that and get a feel of what that actually encompasses. Because just like with starting a small business, unless you understand the language that's spoken in your particular niche, then you're not going to be effective because you're not going to be able to strategize what it is that you want to do, which is very important because things are not based on luck. It's based on a strategy that you put in place that will allow you to prosper, that allow you to create different forms of income, streams of income based on your knowledge about something. But not only that, it also increases your knowledge in the marketplace, which increases your value to the world because now you know a certain skill set. You have a certain skill set that when I'm talking to you about certain things, you already know what's going on there. But a lot of people don't know that right now. And there are a lot of things to learn about stocks. Just like any other niche or any other thing you would decide to go into, there's a lot to learn, especially if you're a beginner. But don't fret. You have plenty of time. Just make certain that you understand the process. Everything has a process in order to become successful at it. And that process is normally very simple. It's just a few things that you don't know yet that will change the whole tide of where you want to go. So what I want to do is when you watch these video clips that I'm creating, I would like for you, whoever you may be, to contact me at Larry5969sbcglobal.net. And I would like to set up a Zoom interview with you so that we can talk about a little bit more about the stock market. Now, that would require you to be learning as well, right? So what rather than you just watching the videos that I create, you'll also be participating in having a back and forth, just like you see Zoom videos all the time, right? And what you have 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 people on that particular Zoom interview, and they're talking about specific things. Now, I believe that the best way to learn and the quickest way to solidify that knowledge is to teach someone else because it's repetition. You're talking about it over and over and over, right? And a lot of times the people that you're actually helping the most, you never get a chance to meet, right? You never get a chance to see. So that's essential when you're creating content. This is all content. In other words, it doesn't exist before you create it. So that makes you a content creator, which is the same mindset that an online business would have. The mindset of creating content in their particular niche so that they can share that with their audience, the audience that they're going to be creating. And they'll be creating an audience because that's how things work online. As you create content, you create an audience, right? That you don't have yet. And as soon as you start to gather an audience, then you give them a place to reach back, like an email address. Now, my website is speakwithlarry.blog. I also have a website, speakwithlarry.com. I have a podcast show called Speak with Larry's Podcast. I do every Monday. And you can view that podcast on this is an audio podcast because I do a lot of videos. So I like to sometimes just create an audience in that particular niche because a lot of people that listen to a podcast are doing things like driving or working out. So I like to create a way that people can access my content rather than just via videos or a blog, right? So that's what you'll want to do too as time goes on. And the beautiful thing about that is you can do it at your own pace. And as long as you're comfortable doing what you do, the result will come because you'll become more confident in what you're doing based on the knowledge that you have gained over a period of time. Now, this is not a get rich quick process. This is a get rich process. But sometimes, when you're dealing in the stock market, that's not something you want to gamble with, although you have a lot of gamblers in there. That's not what I'm trying to share with the audience that I'll be creating. I want you to understand how to actually create a strategy that you want to buy stocks. Like my strategy that I'm using initially are buying what's called ETFs, which are exchange traded funds, which I've been doing for about 2 years now. But I do it online with an app called Acorn, which is relatively simple. I just have a process where I have a certain amount of money going to that account every month, just buying more and more of that stock every month. Now, an ETF is not just one stock. It's a culmination of several different stocks that allow you to diversify your investment process, which is exactly what you want to do as you're creating your content. As you're buying stock, you want to always, diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. You've heard that before. Now, I'm not going to take too long on this video because this is not March the 1st, but starting March the 1st, again, I'm going to be able to send you a Zoom link and we can talk about some things that are involved with the stock market, and we'll be teaching each other. And at the same time, the audience that we're creating will be learning from us. Now, we're not experts. We're not giving stock advice or none of that. We're simply educating you, the layman, on the content, the terms, the definitions, and then some of the things that we're doing, right? Because a lot of times people think you have to buy one stock or the entire stock. You can actually buy fractions of a stock. If one stock is $1,000 a share, say it's Amazon or Microsoft, you can buy a fraction of those shares based on certain brokerage that you use. And those are just little things that you'll learn along the way, but they are valuable because based on your strategy that you want to do. A lot of times people don't have $1,000 to invest or, $5,000. Some stock brokerages require a minimum investment. That may be $500 or $1,000. You may not have that, and that's fine because that's not necessarily a bad thing for you. It just means that in order for you to get to that point, you have to become more diligent and specifying how you're going to get to that $1,000 point. If that's what you want to do, you may want to start with ETFs or index funds, which quite often don't have minimum requirements, right? You can just go in and buy like a $20 stock or $5 stock, depending on what the stock is, right? And there are a lot of things that are changing right now in the 21st century, especially in 2021, now that the administration have a sense of stability, right, rather than the volatility that we've had for the last 4 years, in my opinion, right? And that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, period. So anybody that's viewing this video, I appreciate you again for taking the time out. And hopefully by the end of the year, you'll be a lot wiser about the stock market and your stock market investing than you are now. And if you're not investing right now, perhaps you'll be wanting to save up a few dollars or put back a few dollars and, you know, start to generate some money online or in the stock market, because 60% of the companies are public and on stock market in America. In other words, there's only like 40% of the companies that are in America are not on the stock market for you to purchase parts of their company. You have several different options, very many options to go with. So you can base it on whatever you like. You know, like one of the guys that I've been studying says that he buys things that he uses. Like if you have a Apple computer, he'll invest in Apple stock. If you have, let's say you drink Starbucks coffee every day, he invests in Starbucks. That makes sense, and that's a good starting point. But, you know, you'll figure that out later as you get more educated on the actual process. But I'm going to stop right there because, like I said, I don't want to take it too far because I actually have more videos to make tonight. But thanks for watching this video. Again, my name is Larry James. My company is Speak with Larry. And as always, share with someone else what I've shared with you.